more growth. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love using the bands. I use them a lot.
Yeah, they really helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what Doc is saying, because the resistance, from A to B, man, is like nonstop. There's no dead zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a lot of dead zone.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ian always shocks us with a close-up headshot right at the beginning.
right. There he is. Hey.
It's like da-da.
I've got a big head. What can I tell you?
I thought you shrunk for a moment. All I saw was your head.
What's up, Ian?
Guys?
Doing all right, Ian?
How's the traveling, brother?
It's been busy a few weeks. Yeah, we were in Kentucky and then we were in Baltimore.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been busy. This gym is
joining you. I'll be joining you next week, I guess, huh?
Yes, I can't wait to see you again.
I'm excited, man. Can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be good.
It'll be fun.
Is Ryan not doing it today, Jason?
Yeah, he's supposed to be on.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Him
cool.
and JP both. I just had the doc. I was going over Bostin Loyd stuff, and I was texting him, and he's like, "Hey, I'll talk about it." I said, "Well, hey, do you want to come on right now and just talk for a few minutes?" He's like, "Yeah." So here he is.
Doctor is now my doctor as well.
Yeah,
So,
he's official, huh?
yeah, I'm official now.
I haven't seen the announcement on Facebook or anything. I didn't know it was official.
You know what, Doc? You put my mind at rest with a lot of things. So
I know. I can tell in the message you were a little worried, but we're good. You're actually, like I said, you're fine. Not that I was surprised you're not, but no, like I said, we're good, man. I think we started with a good plan. You're gonna really feel, what I'm saying? You're gonna feel better. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you had a lot go on, so it's very disappointing, you know what I'm saying? And then I think you're gonna really see great results out of it and feel better, you know what I'm saying? So
Hey, Doc, I know we haven't had a chance to talk a lot more, man, but I mean, obviously you're a busy guy, man. And left off, I think it was like a month and a half or so ago, I think. And hopefully we get to talk again, man.
I'll call you. What I'll do, man. And first, I've been traveling a lot too. I just spent 4 days out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then I'm flying back out to Modesto, and then Colorado, and then the Keys. I'll call you personally. I'll call you on my cell phone personally. We'll talk more. That way Absolutely. We can do it that way.
You don't get any better service than that, man.
Yeah, I'll call you from the bat phone. You'll have access to that. So.
That's what we do, right?
Yes.
So Ryan. How are you, Ryan?
Hey, Steve. What's going on, guys?
How are you?
Hey, man. What's up?
Next week, right?
What's that?
We're gonna be seeing you next week.
Oh yeah. I got the posing seminar.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make it.
Oh yeah, I'm there, buddy.
Awesome, man. That's gonna be great.
I look forward.
You there?
I'll be there. Yeah, Doc, you ought to come by.
What next? Oh, I'm actually next weekend.
Yeah,
Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Man, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale. I got to speak to 1,000 cosmetic surgeons.
That would have been a hell of a picture, guys.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I can get you guys to do one, because my gym is next week will be about 80% complete. So I'm hoping middle of April at the latest, everything will absolutely be done. So
well, we could host one at your place too, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I think it'd be, like I said, I'm excited about it. It's got a pretty big buzz around town. So
When's the grand opening, Doc?
I'm hoping middle of April. I want to make sure there's just some things that are got to be buttoned up that will be done. The rest of my equipment shows up next week. Just a couple little minor things, and we'll be good to go.
Hey, let us know if you're having a grand opening. I'm there, man.
All right, we'll do it.
Me too. Is it a commercial gym, Jason?
It's going to be really more of a. I have a physiologist, nutritionist that works with me, so it's going to be some private training. But then also it's also a private invitation only gym. It's not real big, about 3,000 square foot. And I tell people all the time, literally, I bought the building and bought the equipment for me. If nobody ever shows up, I don't care. It's my place to train, smoke cigars, and let the dogs run around. If not, you can come train. don't like the way you train, or I just don't like the way you look in my gym, you got to go.
Mhm.
It's pretty much just, it's my sandbox, and the people that I want there are going to be there, and everyone else can kick rocks.
Like
So-
a West Side Barbell, man.
Yeah.
just the way it's going to be. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I want to give people an opportunity that want to train to have a place to come to, and again, but then also be monitored if they need to. So,
Yeah.
Hey, Ian, that's like your gym, but a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've got it's only like a double car garage that I've turned into a gym, but I've got everything I need there, man. I mean, really.
Ian's got a hell of a gym, man.
really,
That's a gym.
Yeah, I have to come see it.
While I've got you all on, when I was in Baltimore, I went to a gym, and the guy that owned it was a super nice guy. All the people there were super nice. And it's called Exile Gym. I believe Gaspari goes there. It's in Baltimore, it's in Rosedale.
I've seen pictures of it. Yeah.
Wow, I'm telling you right now, I have been to gyms all over the world. I've been Australia, Europe, all over the US, and this gym is the most badass gym I have ever set my eyes on. 74,000 square feet.
Oh,
I believe he had 20 hack squats alone,
Wow.
all in rows. Like,
Wow.
wow.
it's got all the hammer strength stuff that Leveroni trained on. We're getting ready for the Olympia back in the late 80s, early 90s. He's actually buying the standing calf raise that Arnold used on pumping iron. It's like a museum of equipment. It's absolutely. I was buzzing. I went in there, did a full upper body workout. I was buzzing. I was thinking about making a comeback.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know it's in the blood, brother. It's in the blood, man.
Yeah.
It got my juices flowing. This
Yeah.
place.
Let's do it, Ian. Let's announce it right now. Let's do it.
Let's hold off on that one.
Hey,
Hey,
Masters
is there a
Olympia.
Masters coming up? Hey, Ian, you and me. There's a Masters coming up. Let's do it, buddy. Let's show the
Yeah.
world, man.
So, did you see Lee Priest is getting ready to do that?
Right.
Are you serious?
I saw that.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll find his pictures. I
He's doing a
was just looking at
transformation.
it.
I saw
He hasn't
him.
officially announced that he's doing a show or anything, but he's doing a transformation right now.
Yeah. Let's see.
We're gonna see
How
it
old is he
goes.
now?
Same age as me, I think. He's 53 or 52.
Y'all see that?
That's
Oh, wow.
his,
Yeah.
get the hell out. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him, man. Good for him.
That's the starting point. He's about to get started now. I know he's working
Perhaps
with,
a run at the 2023 Masters Olympia is possible.
There you go. Yeah.
Jesus.
He's linked up with Chris Aceto. Chris Aceto's doing all of his nutrition and stuff.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to give it to the guy. He's a brain, man.
Oh, without doubt.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
love to.
I
work with
remember Chris back in the day when is he still with Laura? No, right?
No.
I don't think so.
married. He
That's a
remarried.
long
No.
Yeah, because I remember him and Laura back in the day. They were good friends of mine, man. And Chris was like, years later, I find out he's one of these top trainers. I'm not surprised because the guy had it together, man. So look at Lee Priest. Holy smokes.
Wow.
Jeez.
So he-
All right, guys, that's it. I think I'm going to make a comeback and go against
dear.
he had a few
Hey,
surgeries.
remember, I did call him for his first call out in the pros ever, man, in Niagara Falls. So hey,
Mhm.
maybe I should go against them.
Why not, Steve? Why not?
JP, how you doing?
Good. Are we live? I mean, are we
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, we're recording.
Recording? Oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm not even in the game yet.
I can always edit. So whatever you need to say, no
Yeah,
worries.
So, well, it's great. I mean, it's not amazing when you look at Lee there. The good body parts kind of stayed, and the bad ones he has to start from scratch. Kind of. That's kind of how it goes, guys. My back still looks good, but nothing else is left.
Right.
Yeah. It's impressive, the guy, you know. Herr Doctor, I started all my testing here. You know, I went to see the head of cardiology yesterday here in Palm Desert.
Okay.
We started to I wouldn't say I had a good start. I did not, you know. So the AKG was kind of he wasn't happy with it.
Okay.
So he scheduled the stress test now. I did the extensive blood testing today, so I got a phone call back that my hemoglobin is too high.
Okay.
So he said I should go immediately off the testosterone, which I only take 100 milligram a week. So yeah, do you agree with that?
Yeah, and then if you want, I can send you my email address whatever results you get, if you want to send to me, I'll be more than happy to look at it all too.
Oh,
you know, we can talk. And Jason, I don't know, I don't have Jason can give you my number. You know what I'm saying? And I can text you my email address.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah,
they called
me.
They called me in the middle of the day that they just got the results in, and there's some concern. So I was kind of not happy about getting a phone call like that.
Well, it's like when me and Ian talk, excuse me, you know, I want to look at it because they're going to look at things at a certain way. Don't get me wrong. Your health is what they're concerned about. But I want to see from an athlete perspective, what are we looking at? And what, you know, okay, yeah, hey, we got to get this done, or hey, this is expected, but we can work on it this way. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what they're going to be normally used to.
Since we started talking here, I checked my blood pressure twice a day, and it's also not very great, actually. It's kind of all over the place. So, you know, I'm never better than 130 over 80.
Okay.
So, but there's days where I'm 144 over 92.
Okay.
And this morning, when I did blood testing, there was a weird reading, 125 over 101.
Yeah, that's an awkward reading because the diastolic being so close to the systolic, that's a little bit odd. You know, there's almost a very small amount of pulse pressure, but same difference with what we got to look at with the blood thickness, and then really, like I said, the pressure. Look at more of the inside of the artery, the endothelium. So we can do things with that, not necessarily from a medication standpoint, but start protecting that inside of the arterial wall. That's where your high blood pressure comes from. The pipes get too damaged, too inflamed, and it raises back pressure all the way to the heart.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, do you mind if I chime in on this for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go
I want to get your opinion. JP, how are you, brother?
Good. Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Good. I'm sorry to hear about that, brother. You know, we talked, I think, a couple of weeks ago, but you're going to be fine. I know that. But I need to ask you something, Doc. I want to know your opinion on listening to JP talk about this. Just what is your opinion on what he's going through and the fact that there are there's several different types of herbal roots, and I'll just name them, and you tell me what your thoughts about them, like milk thistle, dandelion root, burdock root, ashwagandha root, and different types of herbal mixtures, gingers and stuff that would actually help while you go through something like this. I'm just asking what your thoughts are on a lot of these alternatives.
Well, a lot of it, your ashwagandha is huge because it's a major adaptogen, which means just what it sounds, it adapts. And that really is going to work from more the adrenal gland perspective in turning on and turning off the adrenal glands at the appropriate time. Again, a lot of your vascular issues tend to be because we in a more sympathetic dominant state. So then there's cortisol, norepinephrine, and epinephrine, our adrenaline that's going crazy, and we don't need it to be in that regard. So ashwagandha is very, very good. The ginger and all that's great for endothelial health. Your milk thistle is, and Jason will attest to this, I basically tell every one of my athletes, welcome to the rest of your life taking it. 2 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, and then if we're going to run and we're going to prep, then it's 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening, because I tell people all the time with the liver, I don't care if you eat a Vicodin or you eat a Flintstone vitamin, everything has to clear through the liver. And if you're going to perform at a higher level, you need to have these organs help to perform at a higher level. You can't not pay them back or the issues will take place.
And when you're saying that, Doc, is because I've been doing this for a long time. I studied herbs for a lot of years. And like, for example, I have a tincture here I made on my own, and this contains burdock root, dandelion root, milk thistle root, and ashwagandha together. You can't buy those 4 together. And
no, it's beautiful. The dandelion root will it works as a natural diuretic as well.
Yeah.
Again, you're not forcing, diuresis through the kidney tubules in the counter-current exchange mechanism. I mean, it's very good. You have to truly understand. That's where, like I said, I was trained allopathically, so Western medicine, but remember, all your medications come from roots. For 9 times out of 10, they all came from a natural substance that were altered by 1 or 2 molecules, and when you do that, now you have a pharmaceutical drug.
obviously you're obviously for it. I mean, because I advise a lot of people I consult with to take a lot of these different type of herbal stuff.
100%. I mean, I tell people like my goal, like, yeah, I can, I can write prescriptions all day. That's, anybody can do that. That's not the hardest thing in the world. My point is, look, let's see what we can fix. Let's see if we can get the body to do it. If the body can't and it doesn't work, it's not a failure. Now I have to force it, and that's okay. But why put you initially, like, let's go with cholesterol. If the cholesterol's 270, whatever, LDL's 140, why do I immediately have to put you on a statin? I can use time-release niacin, berberine, red yeast rice. And if that doesn't work, okay, then we know we move to the statin and we can do that. But man, imagine if if I could do this. It's just like really quick, and I'll stop talking here on the testosterone. I put a lot of people on enclomiphene, and next thing you know, their testosterone is 12 or 1300. I never had to put them on testosterone. I may put them on a medication to make the signaling work better, but you would be happy as hell if their testosterone was 1300 and I gave them testosterone and now it's there. So yeah, you want to try to make the body work the best we can. 100%.
Brother. You say that, man.
So, I mean, I have another question to the doctor quickly. I mean, first of all, one of the problems I have is I'm just too big for my height. I'm 5'10" at this point probably, and 244. I just eat too much crap, so I'm gonna have to kind of start with that. But another question to the doctor. So since he wants me off the testosterone for a while, and I kind of not want to get divorced here, do you think Kisspeptin would help me a little bit, or what do you think?
Kisspeptin would help, and the other one would be enclomiphene. So not Clomid, but enclomiphene. So okay. It's a molecular, it's a little bit of a molecule different than Clomid. So it doesn't turn on and off the receptor for estrogen. It doesn't work in that regard. It works really well. So what we're going to have to try to do is, get the signaling from the brain down to the testicles and kind of kick back in, and that's why I would really, really, really like to see what everything is.
I think I can have access to them probably by today. I mean, I can send you that.
Yeah, because you have to remember this though too. We may have to cut your, I'm not arguing with them saying that to be off, but maybe we cut it back. Maybe we microdose. And I'm just using an example. Instead of taking a 200 milligram shot a week, we might be able to break that down into a 30 or 40 milligram little tiny 29 gauge needle and do that 4 or 5 times a week. That way it's mimicking what our body would normally be doing. Because pulling you off of testosterone is going to cause a lot of physiological stress. You're going to increase vascular inflammation. You're going to cause the heart to have to work harder. You follow me? They're just so quick to rip you off it. Yeah, your blood's probably thicker, no doubt. Mine is. So what we do is we just go donate blood. We start working on that mechanism to get the blood thinner. And, maybe we back the testosterone down for a little bit until we get it under control. But I guarantee you, microdosing the testosterone is going to help out tremendously.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
So I should, I went to make sure my wife is happy. I went to Tiffany's today, booked or something. So I should have talked to the doctor first. Maybe it wasn't necessary. So
is Tiffany's like Victoria's Secret?
No, it's a jewelry store, and stuff is more expensive than I thought. So
gotcha.
It's funny.
Yeah. So, since the doctor is here, do we have any news? I read something about the cause of death of Loyd.
Bostin Loyd. Yeah, that's why I had the doc come on. He actually wasn't supposed to be scheduled. And then I started going over Boston stuff, and him and I were texting each other. And for real quick for everybody, I said, hey, you just want to pop on the show here for a few minutes and just kind of give us a little update on it. I know that there was only a private autopsy done because I searched. I actually talked to the medical examiner for Hernando County, which is the county where he died. And they did not do an autopsy because basically his death didn't look suspicious. And from what it sounds like, in Florida, if you're seeing a primary care doctor, and Doc, correct me if I'm wrong here, if you're seeing a primary care doctor, that doctor has the option to sign off on your death certificate. Therefore, you don't need to go through the medical examiner's office. Is that,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So I apparently, according to the show that I watched earlier, there was a private one done, but nobody has a copy to it that I know of. It's just based off what we've been hearing, and it's the dissecting aorta. Am I
Yes.
saying that right?
Yes.
And so I'll let you talk on that, Doc. And what you
All
heard.
right. So basically, and I've seen it happen, and this is where we go back to kind of really what unfortunately brings us to these episodes is the dissecting. Basically, what if there's the aorta, remember, is the big artery that comes from the heart. It comes right from the heart. You have what's called the descending aorta, which means it's going down. You have the thoracic aorta, which is inside like the chest cavity. Then you have the abdominal aorta, which goes through the belly, and then it splits off into what we call the iliac arteries that go down to the legs. So the aorta is a long tube with different subsections, okay? And so when you talk about dissecting thoracic aneurysm, that's probably what he had. So basically there's a weakening in that arterial wall, okay? And so an aneurysm, which almost like take a hose and then blow up a balloon inside of it. You see how it kind of makes that, that puffy part in the middle. So the arterial wall is thick, and then basically that just tears. And when that tears, you got very, very minimal amount of time to open them up and fix it. Because that, like I said, you literally, if I'm not mistaken, 2 to 3 minutes before you bleed out.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to happen is, so like with a dissecting thoracic aneurysm, a lot of times the patient will have chest pain that radiates to right between the shoulder blades. If you check blood pressure in both arms, you can get different readings. And like I said, and then basically they'll collapse. So twofold. Now you can have genetic defects. So inside that arterial wall, you have elastin and fibrillin. And again, now he didn't have this condition, but you may guys like Abraham Lincoln and stuff. He had what's called Marfan syndrome. And so what happens is they have the fibrillin and elastin, which is type of collagen fibers, are really loose. So they tend to be at a higher risk for aneurysms. But you can have genetic weak arteries, or go back to what we just talked about, high pressure. That high pressure system keeps, in that closed vascular system, begins to keep expanding that artery and putting more stress, and it gives out. When we do the echo, remember we've talked about it, the coronary artery calcium score and the 2D echo. One of the first things when I'm going down the list on the 2D echo, the echocardiogram, is you have what's called the aortic root. The aortic root is right where the aorta comes out of the heart, okay? And the bigger that number is, that means the more expansion there is or dilatation, and then you're at a higher risk. So that's, we will never probably get the results, because if it was private, then obviously those records aren't going to be made public. If he had just an autopsy from the coroner, that's public information, but this isn't. So, we don't know if, you have two choices. Either he had a predisposed condition, or like I said, higher pressure. I had a friend of mine that we powerlifted together, and this guy wasn't very big, then all of a sudden became very big. I'm talking maybe like 210, 215 pounds. And with an 18-month period, he was up to over 300 pounds. I mean, so think about that just in general. If you put that much pressure in any system, and I wasn't at the gym that day, but he pulled deadlift. He pulled it, I think, whatever he pulled. He was pulling deadlifts. He put the bar down. He stood up. He looked at his friend, said, "Man, I'm dizzy." Fell over, and that was it. Blew his aorta out.
Wow. Well, I can tell you from my experience, and I've been to more deaths than I want to be. For them to, you respond to someone's house, you got a 29-year-old that looks like he died naturally. Normally, we'll call the doctor, and if he's under a primary care doctor, the doctor will say yes or no. They'll sign the death certificate. being his age, I guarantee you whoever the responding officer was called the medical examiner. And they probably looked at him, but to be 29 years old and not have an autopsy is kind of odd. So my thing is that the doctor knew he had medical conditions enough to where he was probably going to die. That's my opinion.
And I can't necessarily argue that. And that's a damn shame then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, they say he should have been on dialysis, and he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
From what I hear, when the EMT arrived, he wasn't dead yet. They said he was in critical condition, and he died at the hospital. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that had anything to do with him not calling an autopsy or calling for an autopsy or whatever.
Would that aorta issue be connected to his kidney issue, or not related?
Not secondarily, not to the kidney so much, but you remember what we talked about before, 25% of the cardiac output goes to the renal system. They are intertwined. If the kidneys aren't doing well, there's going to be back pressure to the vascular system in the heart. But there can be, but not as much. Like, hey, I had the kidney, it caused it. It's going to be the higher pressure in general would have caused it.
Right.
Yep, and from also what I hear, I heard it was a genetic issue that his dad also tested for some some similar issues earlier.
In his life. Then there you go. And so again, that's where you have to look at this stuff, because if dad had it, then there's a good chance you have, and if mom had it, then you have both copies of the gene. If dad had it and mom did, then you're still 50%, 50% at risk. Like I said, now we go into this sport where you're putting all this undue stress onto the system via drug, whatever it is you're doing. That's not my place to judge that. And it's just a recipe for disaster. So basically you got weak tubes and pipes. You're adding all this pressure in the system. It's just the recipe, and not a matter of if, but a matter of when it's going to blow out. And that's, and again, at 29, this is what happens. And it can happen again. Let's just say the average person working out, you understand, you're squatting, deadlifting, benching. Think about the pressure inside the body when you lift, I'm saying 200, 300, 400 pounds. It could happen to somebody who's not a professional athlete. You follow what I'm saying? So.
And how would is this something where an echocardiogram would came in to detect this?
It would help, but you would never truly, like, for me, if he was my patient, I ran an echocardiogram and I saw a dilated aortic root, then I would send for more imaging and specialized cardiology at that point. And it really kind of explained to him, we are at a higher risk of a potential, aneurysm or a dissection. Remember, the aneurysm is going to be the weakening of the arterial wall. The dissection is going to actually be the tearing. Okay. So again, that's where you know how I am with my patients. Look, if I know we love doing what we're doing, but it's like we said, it isn't worth your health. And if there is a potential that you blow out your aorta, man, we gotta we might have to look at some other options here.
Right. Wow. I guess Chris Dim had that same thing when he had that. He caught it. He had that emergency surgery, and then he had got injured.
Yeah. So like I said, if you can get you can detect them. They can run ultrasounds. They run ultrasounds, different diagnostic testing to check it, and they'll allow, just like with a heart catheterization, they'll put a stent and strengthen that arterial wall mechanically. You know what I'm saying? But but again, you wouldn't really know. Your primary care physician, your cardiologist, when you're listening, like when we do an assessment on the belly, you can actually listen to the aorta in the abdomen, and if you hear and other than your lub dub sound, and you hear more of a swishing sound, then hey, that's something that would say, hey, we need to look further in what's going on. But again, it's a scary thing, because that's, for all intents and purposes, like we talked about the heart, you're not going to really know there was something wrong until holy hell, this thing just blew out on us.
Yeah. And like we said, nobody has a copy of the autopsy that I know of, so we're only speculating.
Yeah, but if it was a dissecting thoracic aneurysm or any dissecting aneurysm, then like I said, the poor guy didn't have a chance when it blew. But again, same difference, but whatever else you're doing to your body, again, you already have a chink in the armor. That's the thing. But there again goes back to what we say on every one of these episodes that you bring me on is, man, get a hold of someone to monitor your health, because this, guys, as professional athletes, amateur athletes, we're all not the smartest people in the world, because we're just going to keep pushing ourselves. We need to have somebody,
No, not us, Jason. Not us, man. No, come on.
We got to have somebody parent us. Somebody's got to say, no, hold off, because for us,
you're kidding me, man.
Going, but again, we end up becoming harmful to ourselves, and that's sad. At the end of the day, that's sad. And like I said, find somebody who cares. And again, but that's where I said a lot of you guys don't have somewhere to turn. These athletes don't have good doctors to turn to who are willing to understand what they're doing. It's just shunned and they're pushed away. But they're like, well, okay, then they're going to go do what they want to do. But if you have somebody who cares and understands, we can talk and agree on what we can and cannot do. You follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. I competed with his father, John Loyd.
Yeah.
Really?
In 84, yeah. Big guy, like 5'10", 240-pound guy on stage. Incredible bodybuilder, really. He took second to Gary Strydom in the heavyweight at the 84 USA Championships.
Oh, wow.
And I got to know him a little bit after the show. I talked to him and met him. I didn't realize that Bostin Loyd was his son until, not too long ago.
Interesting.
Yeah. Ryan knew him pretty well. Ryan knew him kind of on a personal level.
Somewhat. We weren't like best friends, but I've met him on several. We've got together on several occasions when he moved here to Orlando. He's a good guy. He was misunderstood by most people. He always had a lot of respect for me because I was, always, nice to him and, always would, be honest and straight up with him. So
I met him a few times. He came to quite a few of our shows, the PCA shows, and he was always very supportive. He was, he always seemed fine with me anyway. It's a shame, man. Young kid as well.
Yeah.
29.
Way too young. Way too young. Yeah.
Well, we started talking. I just looked at our conversations here. We started talking back in April 2018. He actually hired me to bring some order into his mess, but I don't think I ever reached him really. He was especially very, very interested in my insulin protocols, and he paid me occasionally even. But I never felt I really reached him. He was, I think, at first interested, but either he didn't believe me when it came to like low dosages, the way I did insulin, and then he kind of disappeared for 6 months and he came back. But we talked regularly, and I really liked the guy. I gotta tell you, I really liked the guy. I always felt like, he gotten a little bit less crazy in the last couple of years. But it was obviously too late, So,
what was he experimenting with? Some kind of peptide or something that kind of screwed him up, or saying it's kind of put him.
Well, he claims that this one peptide screwed up his kidneys, but that's kind of a stretch, I believe. So
what's the name of this?
After everything he did, and he did very well. I think he even documented on YouTube certain cycles he did.
Yeah.
And
FTTP. That's the name of I think that's the. FTTP, I believe, what he was taking.
Yeah, it's possible. And then he also kind of claimed that he found another peptide now who will solve his kidney issues, possibly. So that's I think Dave talked about it on his podcast. But like I say, we talked regularly, and I really, really liked the guy, especially sad now since he has a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, sure is.
I was especially at the beginning, I was interested about his father, and I don't know how close it was with Gary, but according to Bostin, it was, kind of very close there, and he almost beat Gary Strydom. And, that name would be a lot more famous now if that would have happened.
Yeah, he could have gone either way. It was really close.
Yeah, that's what Bostin said to me. So.
Well, really cool. Well, Doc, if you're welcome to hang out with us. I wanted you to come on and talk about that. So.
Oh, I appreciate it.
to
I'll
you.
let you guys do yours. Yeah, I just got home, but I figured I'd jump on real quick. Like I said,
Yeah, I know it was last second. I appreciate it.
Yes, no, I thank again. Always thank you for reaching out to me. Like I said, it's an unfortunate incident. Again, with this one, you chalk it up to there is a genetic predisposition. But again, that's one of the reasons why I asked you guys adamantly, and all your listeners who are getting involved in the sport or involved in the sport, reach out. You can reach out to me, reach out to a doctor, start, taking care of yourselves. Let's stop, let's try to make 2022 stop having shows about people dying. Let's talk about some cool stuff, and let's talk about some cool science and peptides and combinations of stuff we can do to really boost our performance. Let's go to each other's gyms. Let's do cool podcasts instead of always talking about the doom and gloom. This should be, we've done enough of these to where you think we got to start turning this tide a little bit, please. So
awesome. Real quick, what'd you think Brandon Curry's win?
it was weird because when I saw the prejudging, then Bonac was way ahead, and all of a sudden that turned around in the evening.
Yeah, that was that's a big, I don't know, I'm not going to say controversy, just quote unquote, but I don't know, man. I want to ask you guys about one guy. Let's talk about these guys in a second, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Regan Grimes, Milo Sarchez boy. With all that he went through with that guy, what was he missing?
He wasn't as hard as he looked on some of Milo's pictures.
He wasn't as dry as he was.
Yeah,
it should have been, right?
Well,
to a guy that I mean, he's got that. I don't know. You guys tell me. I know it's kind of like an interesting subject to some degree, but you're talking Milo's one of the best trainers in the world. So
he was clearly bigger. Regan was clearly bigger than he was in the past.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a big step forward. He just couldn't quite dial in like last time, when he won that show after the Olympia.
Isn't JP just putting on that extra size like that was one of the reasons why he couldn't tighten up and dry out?
No, they made some mistakes. So, it's only the third, fourth show together. Milos did admit that they did some, they made some mistakes in the loading phase. It happens,
Okay.
Probably already might be totally different this weekend.
Yeah, Boston show. What do you think he's going to do there?
Well, I heard that William is going, huh?
Yeah, William's competing. Yep.
So that he will win that show. I mean,
Kuklo is too, right?
Kuklo, yes.
Kuklo, like the top, like 4 of the top 5 are going to be there. You got Kuklo, Bonac, Rodriguez.
Rodriguez will be very interesting. He has a good chance for second here if he.
Well, you remember, you guys know Phil Klahar from Tampa. He's competing in the Boston too, and he was really, really good last year. And if he made some improvements, I mean, he got second to Ian, I think, and second or third to him and Phil at the Dallas show. I mean, to
so what's his name?
Phil Klahar.
Okay, I need to check.
I don't know if you remember Tampa last year, and also he competed in the Texas show. It was big controversy because it's Ian, Kuklo, and Phil, and they kept moving them all around. And Phil, that's the show that Steve kind of like faded in his posing.
Yeah. I gotta give it to Steve. I'm not a big fan of his size, but he had that midsection under control compared to last year. I mean, big improvement there.
And I just seen a picture of him today, and he's bigger, tighter, and going to be probably about.
Oh yeah, but the guy has an issue with his legs, okay?
Who, Klahar?
Yeah.
Klahar, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
not bad here from the side.
No, the conditioning is on point. He's. I mean, he could have won those shows last year, and it wouldn't have been. Nobody would have been upset with it. I mean, most people had him winning.
Milos released a picture, I think a day or two ago, where he has a lineup picture where he has Curry in the middle, Regan to his left, and Steve to his right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's this at?
I didn't see that one.
I hope it wasn't just a storyline thing.
Oh, it might have been.
Might have been, and that there is like very, very clearly you can see the lack of size. So yeah, there's Stephen on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there you can really see the lack of size for Kugler. You know,
Yeah, that was the only one.
But from what Kuklo is looking like he's about, a good solid 8 pounds heavier than he was last week. So he's coming in fuller, and with that, he's saying that he's much tighter and bigger.
That's the way to go for him right now, I believe. Yep.
So probably in that mid 70, like 175, 275 ish.
He just
On
posted
show
this a
day,
little
that's like
while
another,
ago.
that'd be a 5 pounds extra, a fullness with him. So I mean,
and if he can keep it tight up there and not breathing too much, then it's going to be great.
yeah,
So
real tight waist. His waistline's small, and
I'm curious what Rodriguez is going to do. Who's coaching Rodriguez, or is he doing it by himself?
AJ Sims.
Okay.
And AJ's great. I mean, AJ's one of the best coaches out. I mean, he's very underrated.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they did not work last week. That's for sure. I mean, I hardly seen such a step back from
Friday. Friday was great. Yeah.
Friday was good. Friday was great. He was like, what was he? Not third guy after Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Crazy.
Interesting how they react to that last weekend.
Yeah. This weekend, this show, Boston's going to be a good show.
Is Dowda going?
Yeah, Samson Dowda's doing that. He's there. So you got Bonac.
A big fight for second spot here.
Yeah.
See if they have the lineup posted yet.
Yeah.
So
it's like about 9 or 10 guys, I believe.
William posted the picture in a clapped kind of most muscular pose of his all-time best compared to this week.
And
that was
2017. I've seen the picture. It's 2017 and 2022, Arnold.
Yeah, so he might be a little bigger now. It's just the midsection is bigger too.
Yeah. That comes with the territory,
Absolutely, but it's incredible. I mean, absolutely.
So there's 11 guys competing this weekend. You got William Bonac, Max Charles,
here's
Phil
your list right here.
Samson Dowda, Douglas Frouchet, Reagan Grimes, Steve Kuklo, Justin Mackey, Islam Muhammad, Justin Rodriguez, and Nathan Spear.
Nathan Spear. Okay.
Nathan Spear, who is that?
He won the nationals of the heavyweight, I believe, right? Or
he won down in Florida.
Huh?
He turned pro. Yeah, this past. Wait, did he get second place in the supers? Or
okay.
Men's physique. I guess is there a classic in this or no?
I don't believe so.
No.
I think they have a wellness, hopefully.
Missy's competing again. She's in this.
Can you get to the wellness roster quickly?
Right here.
That's right there. Yeah.
There's only 7.
So Angela will win there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see how your Raishna, if she's coming back from that big loss last weekend.
Yeah. Here's your bikini girls.
Okay.
Well, Elisa, if she is a little tighter from the back. Great lineups. I mean, really.
Yeah, that'll be a good show. I might watch it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is it like a pay-per-view or something? Or
yes, I think they're having a pay-per-view. It's like $9 to buy it.
So last weekend at the Arnolds, did you guys also have to, or did I not get that right? Download the app and then just AirPlay it to the TV?
Me personally, I just streamed it right off the TV. I downloaded the app on the TV.
I couldn't get it done right off the TV.
Okay.
It was just searching and searching and searching. So I had to download the app and then AirPlay it, transfer it to the TV from there.
Do you have a browser app on your TV?
Oh my God. Can you ask Ian if I have one?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's even.
I knew I was going to get roasted.
That's even.
That was good.
The IT issue, just call me, guys.
JP, you'd be better off asking one of your cats.
It's okay, brother. I got your back. I'm in the same boat, man.
I'm kind of surprised that Brandon Curry's not doing this Boston Pro, because I think they're giving away a brand new like F250 plus $40,000 for first place, something like that. I believe so. Don't quote me. But that's what I heard. I mean, that would have been easy, some good money in his pocket 1 week later.
Here's the actual Boston Pro site. I can show you guys.
Where the hell was that kind of money and stuff when we were doing it there, boys?
Right?
We didn't get any of that. I mean, I would have gone for a moped, but I don't care.
Here's your pay-per-views. So each one is $10. So if you want
$9.99. Yeah.
Yeah, $9.99.
Gotcha. Okay. So okay.
Bro, cool.
I don't understand that. That's all one show, but there's 4
Yeah, it's the same show.
Oh,
It's
they've
just
got different people commenting on it.
Yeah.
Oh, they've got Ryan Terry doing that. You know, Ryan Terry's from the same town my brother lives in. He trains at the same gym.
Yeah.
Boston Pro.
So,
Hey, Tito Ortiz is going to be there.
why do you think should Curry do it? There's nothing to win for him there.
You got a vehicle, you got a brand new vehicle and 40
Oh,
grand.
the vehicle. Okay. Yeah.
You got a
Okay.
brand
I
new,
get
I
that.
believe it's a brand new like F-250 or something like that, and $40,000 for just 1 week of dieting extra. I mean,
So the winner is 40,000.
don't quote. I believe that's what I heard. Yeah,
Mostly there's more than 10 or 15,000 on those smaller shows.
yeah.
Right. That's true.
But like I said, they're also, like I said, they have the vehicle that they're giving away to the winner as well. So I mean, that's
Well, that's
what's a
for
brand new
me.
F-250 is what, like 80,000?
Nowadays, yeah. It should
Yeah,
probably
right.
$100,000 probably $100,000 truck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I'd have done it.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Arnolds,
I'm trying to
did they have
research
200,000 before at the Arnold? This is the first time where the winner got 200,000.
I think it's the first year.
It's great, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the Boca got an extra 10,000 for the posing and the most muscular.
Yeah.
Great weekend. Wow.
Yeah, it should be a good show. I was looking to see if I could find something here on the payout, but let's see.
So is any of you guys going to the Olympia, or you don't know yet?
Don't know yet. I'm
know
planning
yet.
on it.
Yeah.
It's
What-
December,
what is-
right?
December again, Vegas.
Well,
Yeah.
we need to get the tickets now if we want a decent seat.
Yeah. I'm more than likely. I'm 99%. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
So
Hey, by the way, with the Olympia, let me ask you guys another interesting, controversial question. What do you think about the IFB pros in Russia not being able to compete? I'm just throwing that out there, man.
So who it does affect? I mean, what pro?
That's what it doesn't make any sense. Why
The
did
ones
they
I know, they live here. The Russians I know are in Europe, so I don't know any.
put Instagram? It's like, what the hell is this? And who are they? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
is there any
So-
Ukraine
Are they
pros?
still allowed to compete?
And as far as I know, there's none of the bodybuilders in Putin's cabinet. So, you know, I think I don't get that part.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
a
so.
little
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Me neither. What the IFBB called that on their site?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Are there any Ukraine pro bodybuilders? I'm sure there are. I'm just trying to.
Gotta be.
Yeah, I know a couple of girls
Yeah.
compete from the Ukraine, but no guys really. That the guy who's kind of the Olympia in the other federation, is he Russian? Krizo?
I don't know.
You know, what's his name? Krizo, the guy who wins all the shows in the Elite League.
I've heard of him, but I don't know where he's from.
Yeah, I thought it was Russian. Or
How you spell his last name? Do you know?
Kriza.
the guy that's wanting to switch over and come IFBB, right?
No, I never heard it from him. I just heard him constantly saying that he's the best in the world, and the Mr. Olympia is more an American kind of thing. His is a
Gotcha.
worldwide federation.
Really?
Is it Michael? Kreese?
Michael, yes.
I think it's showing here that he is.
It's kind of funny.
I think
in
he's
this whole-
Czech. This is a Czech symbol here. I'll put it on the screen here so you guys can.
It's kind of funny in this whole controversy we're having right now. Is a Chevron team ambassador. But Chevron is a nutrition company, I see, not the gas company,
Okay.
not the oil company. Okay.
It doesn't say where he's.
Decent size. Holy smokes.
Yeah, he's huge. I've seen this guy. He's huge.
Oh, he's very, very good. But just
Is there any stage shots here? Let's see.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he has some back. His issues are from behind, from the back.
Yeah. See if
But
there's
the
any-
arms are absolutely, arms, legs are
any
amazing.
back shots. I mean, that's a good shot right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great
Yeah,
shot.
holy smokes. That is, you got to give that double bicep shot a real thumbs up, man. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's some Lee Priest arms there, huh?
Right?
So I assume with those arms, he might be shorter than he looks like there.
Yeah. I don't see any back shots. Nothing stage wise.
That's the reason why.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. Let me see.
Big
I
boy.
I'll have to follow him.
Compete with the boys and see what he does.
Mhm.
Hey, since the doctor is still there, I have a question on him. Maybe he knows something. Next to my office, they opened a cryo tank the other day.
Oh, yeah, cryo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's actually really good. You're bringing cells to sub-zero temperature for inflammation and stuff. It's really good. Yeah, I've done it a couple times. It's cold as all get out, man. You don't stay in there very long.
Yeah,
Doc, you know much about like cold shock therapies and the benefits for all that, and like heat shock therapy, like sauna stuff, and
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, infrared saunas are huge.
Oh,
Like I
powerful.
said, getting out the toxins and stuff in the body, huge. Your
Mhm.
cryotherapy for recovery, injuries. I mean, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've had an infrared sauna for years, man. I just got rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's and it's great because you can get really good ones for not a terribly expensive price. They're not that big. You can put them in your house, put them in a
It's a-
spare bedroom.
Oh yeah, easy little box, man. It's the powerful things, man. What they do, you know that, Doc. I mean,
They're really good.
penetrate the body and the skin, and they put that emit that certain wave that actually heals your blood and heals your immune system.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
therapy is powerful, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's very expensive. But if I take an unlimited membership, heat charge is 75 per session, which is 3 minutes. 60 for 10 sessions, 600, and the unlimited is pretty cheap. It's like $350 a month for unlimited, so you can go every day.
I mean, that's not bad. Like I mean,
Yeah.
that's the point now. It's just amazing, It's like, we've talked about it before. Like with all you guys and us, like in the '90s and stuff, we didn't have all this science and technology. Imagine if we did. Because to me, I'm making that statement now. A lot of the people now don't have any heart and don't train like they did back then. We had to figure it all out. But man, between the anti-aging, the regenerative medicine, stem cells, PRP, peptides, cryo, hyperbaric, infrared saunas, all these things are amazing. You know what I'm saying? They have all this stuff to, you can really make an athlete incredible,
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, if you think about it, a lot of the elite athletes who have the time and the money to do all that are going to take advantage of it now these days. Even in your local bodybuilder, I mean, they can do a few of them. They can't do all of them, but it's just a matter of trying to implement some of those therapies into your training, your bodybuilding, and there's a major difference when you do that, man.
oh, huge. The recovery is just exponentially better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what's
Things that,
funny? Doc?
injuries. Go ahead.
Ian, let me ask you guys, the old school guys, what do you think about this? Because back in my day, nobody ever stretched. Nobody. I mean, I was the only guy that stretched as a bodybuilder.
No, it's
The
not
hell is
true
wrong
for.
with this guy?
It's
that,
not
Jay?
true for my era. I mean, I'm 10 years behind you probably. It's not true for my era. We
But
stretched
you
quite
were-
a bit.
You were close to me. JP, you came in here after me when I retired.
Well, I stretched quite a bit before and after every workout.
Yeah, a lot of the guys I knew in the field would never stretch. Even the guys that train within the gym, I would tell them all the time, nobody ever stretched. And that's a condition of if you don't do that, you're susceptible to many types of injuries and so many different things going to happen to your joints. But a lot of the guys didn't do that back in the day.
We did it in the 70s and 80s. There were not too many guys stretched. I did. I learned to do it early.
Yep.
And was fortunate enough to never have any real injuries at all. But yeah, that's right. I mean, they talked about it, but you know, not too many guys did it.
Yeah, but that's like a form of therapy. There's a lot of things that bodybuilders don't. You know, nowadays everybody's doing it, but just
You got
implement.
stretch clinics. You got studios that you go and
Yep.
you got stretch clinics now.
Yeah. You didn't have that back then, but yeah.
Well, let me ask you all this: you stretch before or after, or both?
Oh,
Both.
Both.
Both. Okay.
I used to do before, during, and after.
Yeah.
Every time
Yeah.
I trained a muscle,
course.
I'd stretch it in between and open it up.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
you got to warm up before. Say that again, Ian.
I used to do exactly the same. In fact, I used to incorporate stretching into the workout. So like if I was doing flies, for instance, at the end of my set of flies,
Right.
when I failed completely, I would just go down and I just hold that stretch.
So I was
I get my
told
training partners to lean on it.
not to do that between the exercises. And, what was explained to me was he was coming from a soccer team in Switzerland, the professional soccer team, FC Zurich. So they had an awful lot of injuries a couple of years in a row. So what I heard, the reason was they were doing too much stretching between the hard exercises. So they got back into kind of a relaxed condition, or you know, before they went back to the next hard exercise. So I heard that's not a good thing. But yeah,
Always worked for me. Always
No.
worked for me. And I literally used to make it part of my workout. I mean, I would.
What about
Sorry,
what about posing in between each set, like Arnold used to
oh,
do?
I did a lot
Oh,
of that.
that's essential, man.
Yep.
Essential for bodybuilding.
You don't see that though a lot.
I posed afterwards, not during.
I know the guys that I see in the gym that compete, they don't pose in between sets.
And they absolutely, it shows on
Mhm.
stage. That's why I feel like I watch like Ian traveling around doing these posing clinics. Thank God, because it just looks like, you know, to me, you know, that's your final product. That's your
Mhm.
waxing on the car. And
Yeah.
these, you know, you spend all this time, effort, energy to building this physique, and you literally cannot show it off at all. And they, you know, they can't pose around their weak points. It's blaringly obvious. I mean, the present to me from, you know, like where I was at to now, I mean, it's atrocious, the posing, you know, a lot of them. It's like, wow, you completely just let that go. And you can really take someone who's a great poser and pose around the weak point. You know,
Thank God for the classic category. They're kind of bringing that back.
exactly.
Right?
But the open guys should be doing it too. It's like, it's not just about, I see a lot of these really top guys that come out and all they're doing is hitting mandatory poses, you know, and they don't even transition from one pose to another.
That was exactly it. They don't know how to go from a front double bicep or a front lat over to a side chest. It's literally like they're just chopping themselves and, hey, I'm facing the front. Okay, now I'm gonna face the left.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I'm gonna face, you know, it's just robotic. There's no like flow.
They kind of stumble through it.
So true. So true.
Yeah, they
Hey,
stumble through it.
Big Naz. I
Yeah.
was saying at the beginning that, you know, guys, I don't know, some of you guys weren't on at the beginning. I was telling Big Naz that I've been training like a bodybuilder again from back in the day. It's been over 25 years. I'm going balls to the wall, serious training, major sets and reps, bodybuilding style. What I didn't say is that the one thing I do, like I did back in the day, that's helped me right now is I'm posing between these exercises, man. And I got to tell you, it's like, and Doc will agree to this, the posing, the contraction that you have is just building you a lot more. Plus, it's
You're
true
building
on
muscle
stage,
endurance too.
but more on stage, man, when you're holding those poses.
Well, it's same difference. It's training. You watch people who don't pose, and again, you know, if you have a long call out, watch how they can't keep their poses anymore. They start cramping up. They start fatiguing. They're posing. You can see their muscles start to shake.
Start sweating.
You know? Taking a beat.
Listen,
They're taking
I'll
a beat.
put it out there right now, guys. I kid you not. I can hold any pose against any pro bodybuilder in the world longer than any one of them. I just tell them that's what I'm telling you.
I believe it. I believe it. I've seen videos of it. So really quick,
I'm not even sure I could stand as long in the kitchen as you do during the podcast.
I know.
Hey,
I'm very happy I'm sitting here.
It's like domain. Because, you know, I spend most of my time in here. I cook so much, man.
You know what would be?
Because you guys know I'm a plant-based eater, right? So
Yeah.
everything I eat is just plant-based, man.
You know, Steve, I just thought of a great idea. While we're doing our show, you could cook something.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying? And then we'll just keep putting the camera back on you. You can show people how you make your chicken or whatever it is.
Oh, no chicken, plant-based. Come on.
Plant-based, okay. So a fried zucchini, I don't know. Something.
Let's do it, man. I'll do a whole thing. I'll make some freaking hummus, man. We'll
work on that. That's a good idea. It's a bodybuilding / cooking show.
There you go.
Yeah.
Taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. So real quick, JP brought up the classic physique. Somebody sent me a message here. I told him I would read it on the show so we could talk about it. So it says here that classic physique division is no longer classic in my opinion. IFBB is rewarding huge legs, and that's not classic to me. Maybe something you guys can talk about on the show. Are y'all seeing that?
Well, you know, the original idea was, I believed, to keep the legs, you know, more in a classic sense, like the 70s more.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw early in already in amateur USA shows 4 or 5 years ago, where legs with guys with big legs were rewarded. Even once a pro show here at the California Pro here, one of the first classic shows I've seen. So I think they deviated from that pretty early in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree that classic goes a little bit, you know, it's a little different than the classic look I originally expected when the class started.
Yeah.
Well, if they don't keep a cap on it, these guys will continue to get bigger and bigger.
Well, they can't, you know, this, oh, you mean the cap. Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
But I also noticed that the shorts are getting shorter and shorter and the glutes becoming more and more important. Where the first couple of years, the shorts were just classic shorts and the glutes did not matter this much.
Yeah.
So the striated big glutes had absolutely nothing to do with a classic bodybuilding look.
I agree 100%. But that you look, they did the same with men's physique. I mean, men's physique when it first came in was supposed to be like the ultimate beach body, right? Not a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Now these guys, the bodybuilders in board shorts, they've completely gone away from what men's physique was. That's why with PCA we're trying to keep the men's physique.
Mm-hmm.
If they're too big, they get penalized. They get told they should train the legs and get in a bodybuilding line.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that on the last show, Ian. These men physique guys were walking on stage and they're like blowing their pants out. They're like,
ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's not men's physique anymore. That's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And to me personally,
they should
have
have
the classic guys. Bumstead is a prime example. That's bodybuilding.
They will have to.
That's what bodybuilding is to me. That's not classic.
Some kind of weight cuts at some, you know, weight limits at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
physique they should.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Because some of
Feels
the
right.
physique guys look like they're bigger than the
If you don't
classic
put a
guys.
limit- Yeah, if you don't put a limit on it, these guys are just going to keep getting bigger.
Yeah.
You know, you're not.
Yeah.
You're just now. It's all going to go right back into being bodybuilding again. You know.
Exactly.
Well, on the amateur level, it's height and weight for the classic guys.
I don't know what guys.
Classic is, but physique, no, it's still just height.
no, physique has no limits.
Yeah.
I mean, they did
This is height.
punish the 6th and 7th place a little bit, you know, for being too big.
Too big, yeah.
I mean, thank God there is a limit, you know.
Yeah.
But again, it's the class that takes all the talent away from bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the star division. Then they change the goalposts every year, and it's crazy because you know I don't think it's fair to the athletes. You get a lot of guys that men's physique guys that I see that turn pro as a men's physique and they can't compete now.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Terry's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Terry got second in the Olympia a couple of years in a row. He can't compete now because these guys are way bigger than him. And it's like they're going away from what it was supposed to be, what that class was supposed to be. And I don't think it's I don't think it's right. To me, classic, like with PCA, classic is like a Frank Zane. It's a very, very small joint. It's for the genetically blessed, really. Classic with us.
Yeah.
It's a more natural look. I mean, we don't test, but it's a more natural look. Not super thick, but beautiful lines. And that's what it should stay as. But like you say, they're just coming in bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't think it is classic. I think that's bodybuilding. That's how bodybuilding should never have got away from that shape. That shape should have always been bodybuilding.
how can a judge sit down there over the years and say, okay, let's determine who's going to win them by the striation of some of the man's glutes? I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I mean, that's not bodybuilding anymore, man. I mean,
No, it's not. No, I agree. Gaspari was the first one to bring that in, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah, Rich was.
Yeah, he was.
Gaspari was the first person to have ripped glutes that people talked about.
That's
And
true. But
then-
it wasn't like it was to where we are today. I mean,
No.
they're
But it's a standard now. Yeah, I mean, literally, I've seen guys compete in our shows and in other shows where they've got striations in the glutes, but they're fat everywhere else, or they're just not in and because they've got striations in the glutes, they think they're in condition. Well, that's not just about that. You know, Steve. You know, it doesn't mean you're in condition because you've got striations in your glutes.
That's fat cell distribution more than anything else.
Exactly.
Where your fat cells lie. If you have none in the glutes and there's striate, yeah, you're not in shape necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens a lot. And it's not, I don't think that's a prerequisite for being in condition. I mean,
I've seen often, especially on Instagram, guys with this huge straighted ass, but no back, no arms. And when I remember now, I mean, I know Rich had them, but when you look, for example, how hard Barry DeMay was, but then his ass was not hard at all.
Yeah.
When you see some of those Christmas three pictures, he occasionally still posts. But it was just
Charles
also.
Clement. You never saw Charles Clement with ripped glutes, but he had an incredible physique and got in great condition.
Did Ronnie kind of change all of that? When did it all happen? This glute stuff. I mean,
well, Gaspari was the first person to come in with glutes, and then there was a Reynolds Janvier. Remember Reynolds Janvier?
Yeah.
He was incredibly conditioned, but I think that I don't know. It's more of a modern phenomenon because it wasn't. I don't think striated glutes were a thing when we were competing, JP. I mean, there were, but it wasn't a prerequisite.
You remember Tommy Thorvaldson?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, he was called Glutezilla.
Norwegian, yeah.
I mean, when Sean Ray and those guys, they had striated ass butts, but it was not really a requirement in that sense. It's just, and the glutes were not this big, so you didn't spend 2 almost complete workouts a week on glutes. And
let's face it, we didn't train glutes. Glutes got trained as a byproduct when you train legs.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Simple as that.
Hey,
Absolutely.
can you imagine going to the gym with somebody? Hey, Ian, look, we're going to the gym today. What do you want to do? Let's go train glutes, buddy.
Slapped around the face.
Really?
I remember there used to be one machine in each gym. This like an upside down one-legged leg press where you push the machine back or straight up.
Right.
That was the only one.
I would never have got on that machine. Not if there was anybody in it. There's no way. And the adductor. I would rib people relentlessly if I saw a bodybuilder on one of those. I'm like, what? You can't squat? What's wrong with you?
So basically, it's up there with rack pulls.
Right.
Yeah, worse actually.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick. In your presentation, in the rear shots and in the side shots, now did you focus on engaging the glute and squeezing them like these guys do nowadays?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Always.
Right. Because these guys are like pulling their hips all the way and squeezing like every living fiber they can nowadays to show the glutes.
They're not practicing posing properly, man. I'm just saying, I can see these guys on stage and even the Arnold boys. I'm sorry, man, guys. Some of these guys are not practicing the posing properly, man.
No.
We find that when we do the posing seminar, Steve. Some of the guys.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, it amazes me that, like you said, Jason, they're putting all this work and effort into the physique, into the diet, into the training. And they're breaking everything down into macros and doing all this scientific, and then they don't pose. No, sure, it's crazy. It's like having I don't know. I don't understand it because it's an art form, man. I mean, how many good posing routines do you see nowadays?
Hundreds of hours in the gym and 2 minutes on stage, and they screw it up.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Absolutely.
It's the most amazing prerequisite of bodybuilding is to just if you can flow. You can be the smallest guy on stage, man, and you can still bring it together, man. You have the condition and posing.
What's the whole point of this? It's presentation. It's to show people what you've done.
Yes.
Yep.
But you failed into showing. it's kind of like the Seinfeld episode. You know, you took the reservation, but you didn't keep the reservation.
Yeah.
And keeping the reservation is the most important thing. The bodybuilding is the presentation is the most important thing, and you fail to do that part of the the equation. You drop the ball on that one.
Yeah, let me ask you guys this: who's the guy that started this? He wants to. Who's the first guy?
Hogan.
Who started that?
I don't know, but
When did that start?
Jay Cutler did it a lot. I know.
Yeah, Jay
I mean,
did
it's
it.
like cheer for me, hands
Yeah.
on the ear.
Yeah.
And then they don't pose; they just stand there and wait for applause, and then they're
Walk from one side to the other.
and walk. Yeah, there you go. One side.
Hit one pose.
I'm with Ian. I think Hulk Hogan
Muscular,
originally
Go to
started
the
it.
other side. Hit another one, go back in the middle. Hit another one. Yeah.
Am I the only one, right? You know the men's physique. Why do they only have 2 poses? Those guys put a lot of work and effort into looking like that, right? And they walk out and they stand from the front and they do this with their hand. And then
They circle their hand. I hate when they circle their
stand
hand.
really wide and that's it. They walk off stage. Is that not a bit nuts to you?
Tell them to
I mean,
stop that.
seriously? I'm not having a go at the athletes. I'm having a go at the way they're allowed to present it. I mean, I just think, that's why we have 5 compulsory poses for men's physique. And, not every physique looks great just standing there. Some physiques come alive when they actually start to pose. And and that frustrates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
They've got literally 2 poses that are allowed to do. I mean, anybody?
The hand twirling frustrates me. Just a side note here in the medical side of things, the hand twirling thing just really
drives me crazy.
Oh, it does. It does.
It drives me nuts that they won't just sit there and hold their pose. They're moving around, fidgeting and doing their arm, shaking it around. It drives me nuts. I can't watch it. It drives me nuts.
I can guarantee
I
you.
am not going to touch that one, man. No way.
I can guarantee you, if you talk to physique guys about why do you guys not do more posing and stuff, they're so in their own world, they're physique athletes. They would never even have an answer for it. That's what they do. That's what they are. They have no interest in being bodybuilders. That's what they learned from young on. They would have no answer for it. Yeah. But yes, I never even talked about it, but it's sad to not present those physiques in a better way.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not just me then. I'm not the only one who's like the grouch,
Yeah, you're good.
Can you imagine back in the day, the Roman gladiators had to do a pose like that, fighting against some army with the twist? Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah. I was sitting there. Hold on. Let me twirl my arms. Let me get ready here. Hold on.
So somebody, when I first started doing the shows, somebody used to call it doing a yo-yo, like playing with a yo-yo, because their hand would never stop. It's like, it's very distracting. It's like lock it in. Like
fidget, I move and fidget. It just like shake that hand. That drives me nuts. I can't take it.
Well, back to Hogan. You remember he used to twirl his hand before he put his up to his ear.
It's all Hogan's fault. It really is. It's all Hogan's fault.
Hogan started it all.
I actually wrestled when I quit bodybuilding and I started wrestling. I was at Universal Studios. And Bushwhacker Luke was the guy that kind of got me on my work. And I was working for a company called XWF. And Jimmy Hart was my manager. And Hulk Hogan walked up to me and he drew a dollar sign on my chest. He went, "I see dollars all over you, brother." And it never happened. I never got dollars, but he was still pretty cool.
That's the organization that Dusty Rose owned?
Is that again?
Was that the organization that Dusty Rose was a part of that he kind of owned?
No.
I think Jimmy Hart owned it, didn't he?
Jimmy Hart, man.
Kevin Harrington was part of that. Who has that channel that sells stuff on TV? I can't remember what it's called now, but over in Clearwater, Kevin Harrington was part of that. But Jimmy Hart was part of it. The Nasty Boys, Road Warriors, Mike, and Hawk and Animal. They were like, Hawk was my best friend.
Well, Ian, who was the Hart Foundation? Was that
our foundation? Was
Bret Hart and Jimmy Hart.
Jim Anvil.
Anvil. Yeah,
Bret Hart and Anvil Hart.
I remember them. Yeah.
That was before my time, man. I didn't get into it till after I stopped. 2000 really, when I got into wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of those guys were Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Nasty Boys, Road Warriors, Roddy Piper. Traveled and wrestled with Roddy Piper a lot. Some some real characters, man. Going from the crazy world of bodybuilding to the even crazier world of wrestling was, yeah.
That's a hard life there. I have I have quite a few retired WWF superstars and then just current ones. And man, you hear some of the stories. I mean, you're talking like I have one just recently retired.
I know two that actually live near you.
Yeah. But they're talking 304, 320 days a year they're on the road.
It's hard. It's very, very tough game. I mean, you get a lot of injuries.
And that's the thing. I mean, I have guys who they're on their 31st surgery, 25th surgery. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, yes, there might be some scripting of what we're going to do, but the meat and potatoes of it is an ass beating.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You can't fake gravity. If somebody drops it on your head, it's going to hurt. You know. If you wait,
I got guys, you know, both patellas blew out, both biceps, triceps, fusions. I mean, you got to remember, and even to today, you know, I listen to some of my guys' stories, and you know, McMahon was tough, man. They didn't get paid a lot of money, and they had to be on the road because and they would wrestle 4, 5, 6 times a week. Now they don't rest, they don't do it like that as much. You know, they're taken care of more. But guys, some of these guys, you're talking about wrestling for $150, $300. You know, you got to get your ride to the next city. You know,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, it's rough, man. And the thing is, a lot of the guys, like, remember Kurt Hennig?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, Kurt, I was supposed to main event with Kurt at the Tampa Fairgrounds, and he overdosed the night before, died the night before, and I was supposed to wrestle the following.
Oh wow.
And I knew Kurt really well. Great guy, real character. But I remember being in Green Bay wrestling with Kurt, and we were wrestling every night. And he came up to me and he had a bottle, and it was vitamins A to Z. And he emptied it out. He says, "What would you like?" And there wasn't a single vitamin in there. It was just pain pills, uppers, downers. I mean, you name it. But because the guys were wrestling every night and they were getting jacked up in every single match, sometimes 2 matches a night, then they were living on pain pills to get through.
That's all. Yeah, pain. You know, and again, like, you know, you look at when I was in medical school, I got a chance to look at Chris Benoit's, you know, brain slices. You know, and
I used to wrestle with Chris Benoit. I used to go.
Yeah, I mean, he was. You know. Of course, they're obviously, we've talked about this time. You know, they're obviously all the steroids. With no, hell no. This guy was in full blown, basically Alzheimer's disease in his early 40s. You know, now, like we talked about, but now you add, you know, opiates, you add steroids, you add alcohol, you know, with, you know, a brain that is basically like scrambled eggs. Well, now there's poor decision making all the way around. You follow me? You know,
what's that condition, Doc? Where if you get too many concussions, it creates some kind of. There was a real stick in the film.
Yeah, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. A lot of the football players that have it. Yeah.
Well, a really good friend of mine that I used to wrestle with, a guy called Kevin Donofrio, took his own life last year because of that.
Yeah, one of the guys I played football with, he was, you know, All-American at North Carolina, smart kid, played football with him. End up, I think like 6 years ago, was homeless, riding his bike on the side of the road. Somebody ran him over, kept going. You know, like I said, that's like, you know, I look at the guys, you know, the wrestlers back in the day, and when I played football and stuff, you know, you're basically just used and abused to make money for other people, and then you're shoved out, you know, at such a young age. You know, and like, you know, like I said, this kid was an All-American at North Carolina, you know, not a bad school, really good. Next thing you know, he's homeless, digging in the trash, riding his bicycle. It's just a really, really sad, you know, like I say, you look at the same with the wrestlers and stuff, man, you made all these people all this money and you're literally broke. And I say it in speeches, it always pisses me off is they're like, oh, these athletes, they make too much money and well, they're stupid for blowing their money. Look, don't give people who don't have money without guidance. But who do they guide them? They're attorneys, they're accountants, they're agents who are all either business people, you know, very well-educated people who know how to put their money to use. So next thing you know, on these budgets, you know, then I ran into that problem. You know, I come from nothing. Don't give me a $75,000 check and tell me, you know, I think that's coming around the corner for the rest of my life. you know?
Mm.
And like I said, these guys, next thing you know, they're, you know, a man is supposed to make the most amount of money between the age of 35 and 65. You got to figure these guys are done before the age of 27 and they got nothing else left.
Yeah.
You know, nobody guided them. And I always hate that. You know,
Look
yes,
at Mike Tyson.
make really poor decisions, but you know, it's really sad because they were duped. Oh yeah, let's invest your money here, put your money here, do this. Next thing you know, it's gone. But they don't teach them about taxes. Yeah, you get $1 million check, doesn't mean you have $1 million. By the time you pay your agent, your attorneys, all your, you know, everything that goes into it, you got like 150,000 left.
Wow. And then you've got a load of athletes. Like I pro wrestled. I was a pro bodybuilder. I never really made any money from it. I never had an agent. I never had, you know, I was always just out of the money or little money, you know, so I always had another job. I always did other things. But for every athlete what has been ripped off by their agent, there's a lot of athletes like myself that were just under the pay scale but still put your body through exactly the same and still, you know, tore your body down.
Yeah, got nothing for it, you know. It's just, you know.
Crazy.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Very good. Well, that's all I got tonight, guys, unless y'all got some more stuff.
I'm good. Like I said, I just wanted to, you know, you reached out to me. Like I said, we were texting. I wanted to just kind of talk about that so people understand another 100% reason why you need to be checked out before you start doing this. And, you know, because again, if that was the sole reason of his demise, was there was an underlying condition that he wouldn't have known about. But I'm not, again, Lee's saying it not could have been prevented, but maybe could have been detected earlier, especially since his old man had it.
Yeah.
You follow me? Yeah. So could have, you know, again, maybe, you know, I don't know. Like I said, maybe change his career choice. You know what I'm saying? You might love a sport, but if you're not, it's not worth dying over, you know? So
now let me ask you, did he ever turn pro? I mean, what did he ever do? Did he ever win any big shows?
No.
Do you know?
A couple of amateur shows and that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, so he didn't compete that often?
No.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, though, you can still be involved in bodybuilding and not be a bodybuilder. Look at me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a bodybuilder anymore. I haven't been an actual bodybuilder for a long time, but I'm still involved in the sport. I still love the sport. You don't have to actively be eating all that food and, you know, doing all those things to still love the sport.
Yeah, I'm not a pro. I'm the only one here that's not a pro. So I still love it.
Yeah.
We're all pros, man. Hey, I got one last thing, man, and on a funny note, if you guys don't mind. So my 9-year-old daughter, yesterday, I was taking her to school, and as you guys know, I have divorced with 3 little girls and all that. But taking my 9-year-old to school, and she's got these bites all over her legs, and she's talking about getting these flea bites. And because, you know, we had this cat, and then this JP, you're going to appreciate this. It's a Maine Coon. And the moment she said the cat had fleas in the apartment and she's getting bit, I said, oh, let me show you something, sweetie. So I showed her a picture of JP. I said, look at this guy. And her eyes went, wow, who's that? I said, he's a friend of mine. And she goes, he's pretty big. I said, yeah, but guess what, sweetie? I said, he's got over 20 cats. And she goes like this. I said, yeah, he's not all there, hon.
Smart girl, smart girl.
Well, remember, you only have a couple cats if code enforcement's watching, right, JP?
Yeah.
Only 5.
My wife and we started dating. I'm 50 years old and have 20 cats. I'm totally normal.
There you
Oh.
Awesome. Well, cool, guys. I don't know if you guys saw my post, but next week Quincy Taylor is going to join us. You know him? You guys know him?
I remember him.
Yeah, he's going to be on. He's launched some new online training stuff, and I talked to him for a while yesterday, so he's decided to come back on. So
cool.
Talk to everybody.
Nice to talk to him.
Gentlemen, it's been a good night. Good to see you guys. Man.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
appreciate
You
it.
guys.
Steve, I owe you a phone call, so keep on the eye. And then Jean-Pierre, get my number from Jason, and when you get information, text me, and then I'll give you my email address. Okay, guys?
Sounds good, brother.
Awesome. Thank you, Doc. See you guys.
Thanks.